Are you thinking about buying a solo stove but want to know if it's worth it? Well, we're going to learn that answer together today when I open this, do a first burn, first impressions, and overall first thoughts on the Solo Stove Ranger. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you stick around. I'm Meander and Mitch with High Frequency Media, and I don't typically spend that much money on a piece of equipment for camping, but for this video, I just had to. There's been a lot of talk about these smokeless fire pits, and I'm really curious on if the name brands are really that much better than some of the knockoff brands. Now, I do have a Ozark Trails version of the same size-ish fire pit, which I've already done a review on, so if you want to see that also, at the end of the video, make sure you check that out. Or I will also be posting a comparison video between the two, so if that sounds like something you're interested in, check that out as well. But without further ado, let's get into unboxing this and just talk about overall first thoughts. For this video today, all we will be using is a bundle of firewood purchased at Shenandoah National Park, the Blackbeard fire plug fire starters, a flint and steel, and then whatever comes in the Solo Stove Ranger box. Ooh. So let's cut this thing open and get started. Get the carrying case, the top ring, one of the ash pans, another ash tray, I believe, and I think that is it as far as pieces. This is two different pieces, I do believe, or maybe it's not. I think I'm incorrect. I believe this is all it is, actually. I am incorrect. So this is all there is for the Ranger, which again is the smaller version, or the smallest of the like backyard versions. They do have some different smaller ones for camping specifically, but they also have much larger ones for backyard. So this is it. These are the pieces. I'm actually not positive about some of these. So what it looks like we do is we put the ash pan in, which sits right down in there. And then the grate, which just goes over top of it. And then you put your fire in there. Once you start your fire, or before I suppose, but once you start your fire, or before I suppose, you put this on, but you probably easier just to put it on after. But it does go on with the rounded part up, like that. It does fit like this, but that's not correct. So that's what we got, and this is what it'll look like. So just for reference, that is what the inside of the Solo Stove will look like once it's all put together, and we're going to start a fire in there and show you what it looks like with that. Alright, so we're going to try this out. These fire plugs. Normally I put a little bit more sticks and stuff on there, but the Solo Stoves and other smokeless fire pits are supposed to be really good at pulling the air to help your fire get started and to maintain it. So I'm just going to pull a couple of these little pieces off, use that as my kindling, and then put the big pieces on and see how good it actually lights. So we'll pull a couple of pieces off and that'll be it. So I did another video on how to start a fire with a fire starter. These are different fire starters than that video, so if you want a specific one to these fire plugs, make sure you let me know in the comments. But if you read the back of the package, it kind of explains everything. I'd be happy to make a video if you'd like, but again, just let me know what you think. So get them going. Nice thing about these are they're much easier to start with a flint and steel compared to other things, which I don't even know if you can do with a flint and steel. Take that. And then with a flint and steel, you didn't sign up for this part, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. But with a flint and steel, all you do is you push, you spark it, and you hit your fire starter, and it'll get started. If you don't miss. 15th time's a charm. I'm gonna take this off just to get this rolling. So I'm not sure if you can see in your current view, but these holes around here, you wanna make sure that nothing's above those or it'll mess up the airflow and it kind of just throws it off. So we are gonna let this start burning and then I'll be right back with you just to see the fire and how it looks. So what I will say is, it does appear that the airflow in this is really, really good compared to some of the other stoves that I've tested. It's pulling the air with just a little bit of wood. It's pulling the flame through there pretty well. And it started out pretty quick. So that's definitely two really nice positives. I will say it's a little bit smaller than I anticipated. I thought it was gonna be two-tiered like the other ones, like another one of the ones I just tested. I will actually link that video here if you want to check that one out for the Ozark Trails. It's the same diameter, but a little bit taller. I will say I do really like how it looks. It's nice and compact, so that is definitely nice. I will say it is putting off a bit of smoke right now, and I'm thinking that might just be some of these smokeless fire pits on the first few burns that you get some chemicals that are burning off, because it appears to be black smoke, which is definitely not the best to breathe in, but goes away decently quick. So just something to note. I don't know if that's a common thing for everyone or if it's just something I've noticed through the first two stoves that I've tested. I will also say the build quality feels absolutely fantastic. The pieces inside, especially the things like the ashtray and the grate, feel very high quality. So definitely a solid bonus. It is slightly annoying that it doesn't come with some accessories at base. I would like at least a grate to put over top like the other stoves that I've gotten. You can get those added on, but it's not cheap and can be even more expensive depending on what size pit you go with. If you're set on solo stove and you're debating on what size you should get, I would say this would be a solid size if you want to travel with it, or if you just have one or two people that want to sit around it. But if you have big groups of people that you want to host, you're probably going to want a little bit of a bigger size. Two most notable things with that is the size of firewood you have to use is pretty small, because again, you want to keep it below those little circles, and you're not going to be able to fill it full of a bunch of wood to get a maximum diameter for your heat spread. So those are just two things I would consider if you're looking at different sizes. But overall, definitely a solid option. So final thoughts on the first impressions of the Solo Stove Ranger is I would spend the money on it. And that's saying something for me because I'm a self-proclaimed cheap bastard. If you've seen my other videos, I've referenced myself like that quite a few times. But it's just, I don't like spending unnecessary money. Something like this, the quality is really solid. So I find it kind of hard to justify or to not justify the extra money if it's something you're looking for. Now there's pros and cons to each of them, and we'll cover that in one of my videos. Bird, go the fuck away. Now there are pros and cons to each of them, and I'll be posting that video shortly. I will be linking it in the description as soon as it's posted, so if you're curious, check below. But overall, those are my final first thoughts. If you have any questions or concerns, make sure you drop them in the comments. I'd really like to answer those for you. And I'll also be doing some follow-up videos on this on length of time from the purchase. So is it worth it after 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? I'm gonna do different videos based off of what you guys want. So whatever you're thinking, make sure you drop that in the comments so I can answer that for you, and we'll figure it out together. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this video and want other outdoor camping things, make sure you stick around by hitting that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. But if not, that's okay. I still appreciate you. And until next time, peace.